YouTube, what it do? I look crazy. Feel a little crazy. It's early in the morning and I'm out here chasing this eBay grind. If you don't know, which you probably don't, my name is Nage, and I'm just a living human being at the moment. And what I want to do in this video is talk about my general experience with a little bit of life mixed with hobby, mixed with purpose, mixed with God. Sounds like a lot to unpack, but basically I want to talk about my experiences as getting into eBay and as an eBay seller. Mainly, I want to talk about faith, and I want to talk about doubt, and I want to talk about taking action, and I want to talk about leaving a lot on the table. So let's see if I can remember all those things. So lately I developed a new habit or new hobby, which is reselling on eBay. And I found the experience to be quite enjoyable. My belief is that eBay can become something that's profitable. It is very fun to do for me. I see a lot of potential in it. However, I'm going to note a disclaimer, which is that I have two other jobs that I do. I do not rely on eBay for my income, for my main source of income. I don't even rely on eBay for income. I just see that eBay has the potential to make income. And I say that because I see results on eBay already. So I've been doing eBay for, I forget, maybe 6 weeks now. Seriously, maybe 6 weeks. And I've been able to do about $300 in total sales. But I only have, at the time, I only had 20 items listed. One of the items were for $156 some odd dollars. The other item was a camera that I bought for $20 and sold for $66 or something like that. And the last item was a timer that I picked up at a yard sale that I put online for about $40, and it sold for about $40. That was the actual first item that I posted to eBay just as a something around my house that I already had, because that was the suggestion, to post something that you already have just to get started. So it was a timer that I picked up from a tag sale maybe earlier 2024, and it sold. It was still in the package, so it was new, but it looked like it was from 1990. But however, it did sell, which when it sold, I got really excited, and I'm like, I really didn't know what to do. So before the item sold, which this happened less than a month ago. I lose track of time sometimes, but less than a month ago, the item sold. It took about just a week to sell, something like that. So when the item sold, I had already had boxes, tape, a printer labeler, and a general little understanding of how eBay worked. Let me turn my phone up so nobody calls me. I hope nobody calls me and ruins this video. Try to keep it short. I had a general understanding of how eBay works. So when I got the notification from eBay that my item sold and it was time to ship, I got really excited. Okay, so now I had to respond to the notification that the item was purchased and that I would now need to ship it. So I already had a printer label because my fiance earlier in the year, she was selling things on another website, and I thought that was cool. And so I know, you know, it was some point I bought her a printer labeler. At some point in 2024, I bought her a printer labeler. So when it was time, when I got this idea to try eBay, or this sort of feeling I wanted to do eBay, I already had a printer labeler. So I didn't go out and buy one, but I already had a printer labeler. And I already had a scale, because I used a food scale that I picked up from a woman online also in late 2024 that came with a scale. So the scale that I had was for food, and it came with another scale you could weigh yourself on. So I already had these little things around the house. So I guess I was a little bit ahead of the game, I don't know. But when I got the notification to ship, I packaged, I had a little bit of bubble wrap already, because I knew I would need bubble wrap and, you know, maybe a mailer or a little box. So I had those things. I purchased those things, and I was ready to go. So I packaged up the timer with some bubble wrap, made it nice, and I had a little thank you sticker, thank you for shopping for small business sticker. I put that on it, and then put it in my box, taped my box good. I used to work at a sort of picking Amazon type of place, but not Amazon. But you picked, and they made their own boxes, and you would pick the items off the shelf, and then you would go to another station, put the item in the box, and you would learn how to tape it so to mail it so it wouldn't open. So I already had some knowledge on how to tape a box. I already had knowledge, and I already had the printer label. I already had the scale, and I did my research and watched a couple videos on eBay and paid attention to what guys were really saying and really tried to listen to them. So I get the first sale, and it's for like, you know, $38, $40 roughly. So I, looking at my Starbucks that I just purchased, don't want it to get cold. I packaged that up, brought it to the post office. I mean, I printed my shipping label out. On eBay, you have to measure your box. So length times width times height. Length by width by height. And so you have to learn how to measure your box if you don't know. And you can go on Google and figure that out, or whatever. So yeah, you measure your box, you enter the dimensions of your box, and then you print your shipping label. And then you take your shipping label, you slap it on the box. Also, before you enter your dimensions of the box, you need to weigh your box so you can get the proper weight of the item inside of the box. Then you print your label, because you have to enter those dimensions onto eBay, and then you print your label, and then you bring it to your post office, and then deal's done. You know, they ship it out to the person, and when it gets there, it gets there. So mainly, and like I said, I have 3 sales, and over the last couple of days, I've increased the amount of items that I have listed on eBay. In my very beginning, which is not long ago, I knew that in order to do eBay, I would need to focus on a very small step. And that very small step was just simply going from thinking about it to performing the action. So what I was able to do was start small. And I just want to note, I really enjoy eBay. I love the experience of doing eBay. I love the experience of hunting for items and then selling them for profit. It's very fun, but I just need to let you guys know that in some businesses, I'm learning, and in this business specifically, it takes money to make money, okay? And there's other factors that go into that. So because I have 2 full-time jobs, or not full-time jobs, but I have 1 main job that supports my living. I even have another job that supports my living. And between those 2 jobs, I get everything I need. I'm able to focus on eBay and enjoy eBay and build it from a different perspective in a different place. I'm able to build it from a different perspective. I'm able to build eBay from a different perspective and a different point of view. So I just want to note that, so anybody thinking about eBay or wanting to get into eBay, there's things to be said on both sides. You know, some people say, from what I've learned, eBay is not, people, they say the top sellers on eBay are not actually resellers, they're distributors, because what they do is they buy a lot of bulk product and they're able to continue to just sell that one product or multiple bulk products, and then they can measure what their monthly income, they can kind of gauge what their monthly returns are going to be every month consistently. I think a problem some people run into reselling online is that they don't have one product or enough bulk product to where they can take one picture and continue to sell that same product. So let's just say your niche or whatever you want to call it is toothpaste, and so you found some distributor out there who sells you bulk toothpaste, or you go to Alibaba and get bulk toothpaste, or somewhere you find a bulk item like toothpaste, and then you sell toothpaste online, and then people began to recognize you as, or your store as, a place where they can go to get the best toothpaste, or their toothpaste, or a cheap toothpaste, or whatever, your toothpaste. They know when they need toothpaste, they can go to your store and it's going to be there. And because they build that reliability, and you help build that reliability and consistency by being a distributor, not just a reseller, you have a consistent rate of people buying your items. So now you can gauge, you can say, okay, I sell 100 toothpastes a week, and now if anything changes in the market or in the world, and now you're all of a sudden selling 50 units of toothpaste, now you can kind of more gauge and understand what's happening in your field and in your market based on, the seasons, Now there's the other type of people who are on eBay, like myself, who are just beginning, which we call ourselves resellers. We go and we find, cheaper items, maybe at thrift stores, maybe it's something in our house, maybe it's something someone gave us, or maybe it's something we bought for cheap, and we resell it. Now, there is a huge portion of people on eBay, from my research and my understanding, who are successful with doing this reselling, okay? I'm not saying that they're distributors of bulk products. The top eBay sellers, from what I've seen, are not just resellers, they're also distributors. And they have they have products, okay? Line products that they can sell over and over and over and over again. They don't have to go buy something, take a picture of it, sell it. Go buy something else, take a picture of it, sell it. No, they have a bulk item. They take one picture of it and they keep selling that same unit, okay? So back to here I am, back to my story, back to the beginning of this eBay journey for me. So my focus needed to be small, because anything you do in life, you need to start small, so small that it's almost humbling, and it's doable, and it's measurable. It becomes measurable, and it becomes something that as you take one step and you take another step, just a small step, because sometimes people try to step too big and they trip and fall, or they get discouraged, okay? Or the work is too much. So you have to start small, and you build on that. You build on that. It's kind of like laying one brick at a time. That's what people mean. It's easy to lay one brick in a day. It's much harder to build a brick wall in one day. So how do you eat an elephant? How does an ant eat an elephant? Piece by piece, bite by bite. Because while you're etching away at that thing, all right, you're chipping that rock, or you're that ant biting at the elephant. Yeah, the elephant may not feel it right now, but in 3 years, that elephant is going to be definitely lost a leg, right? or even more than that. And that's the theory behind it. And so that has been my experience with eBay, is that it's a wonderful hobby because there's a lot of passion in it, okay? For me, there's a lot of excitement in it, buying something. That's kind of like the hunt or the catch. When you buy something and then, you think you're going to sell it for more, but then you actually buy something and then it does sell, and then it does sell for more than you bought it for. And you're like, whoa, this really works. So off my first sale, after only just a few, a small investment, making sure I had boxes and the other things that I needed, tape and, something to put the item in that I was shipping. I already had that stuff pre-set up. So by the time I got a sale, I was able to just go in and do the work, package the item, take the dimensions of the box, put the shipping label, bring it to the post office, and then receive the payment. I was able to do that. So then I kept going on about my business. You know, that was very exciting. I didn't expect to get a sale because, like I said, I was focusing on small aspect of taking baby steps with this thing and just enjoying the hobby and learning more about it and being excited about the potential of it. I didn't know that I would get a sale, but I got a sale. And then the next thing was, my focus was on, okay, I got one sale. This is interesting. This works. Okay, I think this works. That's my thinking. The next thing I wanted to do is continue to post my items to YouTube. So, YouTube, post my item to eBay. That was my focus. Just post, because I'm not sure if there's an algorithm on eBay. But I'm beginning to believe that there is an algorithm, and whoever watching this, you guys may already know there's an algorithm, but I really don't know if there's an algorithm. But I'm going to suggest, and I kind of believe that there is an algorithm, and I'll get into that further. So consistency and posting and taking nice pictures of what I had, and making sure I proposition that correctly online. So as far as the title, the max amount of characters, whatever title would be most searchable to someone looking for my specific item, I would make sure I had that done the best that I could and the best photo that I could take. And I would also like to go into see, you know, who else was selling a similar item. There's a feature on eBay where you can go and see who, you can take a picture of your item, or you can type in the item that you want and you can see who's selling it. And then you can, sort of just click on the button that says sell one like this. And then it'll fill in a lot of the information about your item, specific item. It'll fill in a lot of that information. You can just go ahead and get to the uploading pictures part and filling out your shipping part, etc., etc. I can get into more of that, but so that's what I like to do. And I was just focusing on the small steps. So then, lo and behold, came another sale, something that I had purchased off a Facebook Marketplace for $50, and it sold for $150, which was interesting. So I'm like, okay, this really works. Like, all right, this is cool. And it's crazy because at the time it sold, I was out sourcing. I was out buying more things for cheaper prices that I could sell for more money. And so I got really excited because I'm like, man, this is real. This is real. And so, once I got that sale and it was a bigger sale, I'm like, oh, wow, this is real. Like, okay. So I went home, I packaged up the item that night, and then I did the same process, put it in a box. Had a hard time finding boxes. That's a whole nother topic. But I found a box that was way too big, put it in that box, packaged it up nicely, all that good stuff, and then shipped it out. I'm skipping over small details. So that was the second item. The third item that I sold was a camera that I had picked up, a Canon camera. I picked it up for $20. I resold it for $60. Like literally within 2 days of posting it. So I was like, wow, this is real. Okay, so some things sell better than other things, okay? And some things sell quicker than other things. And that leads me to something called sell-through rate. Sell-through rate is something that people teach you about. It's basically how fast the item is selling or how slow an item is selling. And you want to make sure that an item has a good sell-through rate to make sure that when you purchase it, you know that there's a likely chance that that item's going to sell pretty quickly, or else it'll be sitting with you for longer than you need it to sit. And if you need to rely on eBay to make money quickly, you don't want to get something that doesn't have a good sell-through rate. You want something with a good sell-through rate that's going to sell quickly, and you can make your money and you can take care of the bills or whatever you have to take care of in life. For me, fortunately, I have a basement with a nice sized basement, and I'm going to be living where I'm living for the next 2 years. So I don't need to worry about sell-through rate too much. I can focus on product acquisition, getting a product, and then making sure that it's, get it for a good price. Because from what I understand, you don't make money when you sell something, which you do, but really you make your money when you buy something. So as a reseller, when you buy something for a low cost, that's when you make your money, especially if you have time for that thing to sit. This is why I say it takes money to make money, which I'm learning in business, but I don't need the money from eBay. So I'm able to sacrifice, and I'm able to purchase things and allow them to sit, because eBay in no way takes care of my cost of living at all. I have a full-time job and I have a part-time job that's a potential full-time job. So I'm making enough money, and I live in a 2-family income. All right, I got 2 incomes in my home plus my 2 incomes. So I don't need eBay. I can enjoy it like a hobby, and I can just, you know, breeze through and learn this stuff, and I can teach it to you guys. And I'm sure at some point, if I continue to do it, I will go down the path where I'm able to make it a profitable business for me. My goal is to make money on eBay and let that money sit all year, and then figure out how to do taxes, enjoy my write-offs, and then collect that money at the end of the year after taxes are paid, and then see what it is, and then potentially maybe reinvest it or flip it into another type of business. We'll see. But that's just foreseeing. That's down the road. So back to my third item, which was the camera that sold 2 days after I bought it, which showed me that different things have faster sell-through rates on eBay. So then one other thing that's really important in eBay, which I got down pack right off the bat, was building relationships. I really don't know how I built these relationships so good or so quickly, but I have been able to, in only like a month or like 6 weeks, build solid relationships with people who do other things like liquidation. And I just happen to meet people who do liquidation, and people who do who have a lot of money and have a lot of good things to give away. And so I got people that just hit me up and they're like, hey, do you want this? $20. Do you want this? $10. And it's really good stuff. And it's really what has allowed me to, I have a huge inventory already. If I showed you my basement, which I turned into my shop, you guys would be like, holy smokes. I got a lot of good inventory. Actually, just yesterday, I went to someone who was selling in a rich neighborhood out where I live in my state of Connecticut. If you know Connecticut, then you know Fairfield. You know Fairfield's got a lot of money out there. I went out there because I found a guy online who was, I don't know what you call it. He was just getting rid of everything in his house, and it was open house. Some things were for money. A lot of things were free. I was able to go there and get a lot of free things, and he let me go upstairs, downstairs, in the basement. I packed my car with stuff, and I brought it all home, and then I started to look at what I had. I had hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. So that's between things like that happen, between having good connections with people who bring me product, and it's often new product or collectible product or something that they got from liquidation or whatever. I think one guy specifically maybe works in storage units. He's been like a blessing to me. He just gives me such good product, and it's so valuable. Like, I can't even begin to explain, guys, how important it is to build relationships, and also product acquisition, but also not needing eBay so you can acquire product and have it sit in case it doesn't sell quickly while you're learning this business. And yeah, the relationships. And then this is the last thing, and I'm giving you guys gems, so whoever watched this video, you're lucky. Free stuff. Free stuff is 100% profit, guys. Okay? So free stuff, and then understanding how to do your taxes so you can write off things like your gas, your car expenses, you know, certain other write-offs when it comes tax time, which is gonna lower your taxable income so that you pay less taxes and you receive more incentives. Like, so you win-win. So when you're out here purchasing stuff and you're driving around trying to acquire product acquisition, you're gonna get some payback for that in the end of the year when you get taxed on, you know, when you have to pay all these taxes because the money you earned, and because you're a self-employed, you have to pay, I think, like some other taxes depending on your state, whether that's Medicaid or like federal. I don't know. I'm still learning too, guys. I'm really new in this. The fourth thing that I sold was something that I had gotten from it was a Vampirina doll, Disney Vampirina doll. I found out that the word vamp means whore. That is crazy. Vampirina. Yeah, if you don't know history and you don't know older people, you're gonna miss out on a lot of important information. Someone that I know that's very elderly, 70 years old actually, I was telling her about my eBay experience, and she told me that the word vamp meant whore. So Vampirina, I don't know, but Disney is weird, and there's a lot of weird spiritual stuff going on in the world. So I'm on my fourth item sold, guys. I got a bunch of inventory. I got great relationships, and I have a shit ton of product and things to sell, and I've probably invested $1,000 and less than 500 miles into eBay, and I have thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I have a passion that I love. I have something that I can foresee being profitable and being a great introduction into business in general, into relationships and customer relationships, and just something that has so much potential. Now, there's a lot of people out there that will talk negatively, and they will dim your light, they will kill your passion, they will stop your dreams, they will make you discouraged, they will speak doubt into you when they tell you, you know, eBay is not a thing you can do, or whatever your dream is, when they just tell you that something that discourages you, and make you believe that you can't do it. It kind of sets you back. Guys, you need to believe in yourself. I don't know if you have God in your life or Jesus Christ, but you need to seek that wisdom and the word of God and the teachings of Jesus Christ, because it will really help. Or if you want to seek the teachings of Buddha or whoever, you need to learn something. And the thing that you need to learn is that you need to go within yourself. You need to go so far within yourself. Yes, meditation. Yes, paying attention to yourself. Yes, listening to how life affects you and people affect you and spaces affect you. And you need to get a better relationship with yourself so you can better operate in this life. Your body and yourself is talking to you, and it's saying, what about me? What about me? Listen to me, okay? Understand what I'm trying to teach you so that you can integrate yourself with yourself. You can integrate your conscious self with your subconscious self, and you can become, you know, more whole of yourself, you know, one sort of being, one body. And that's okay, because you can operate better in the world, and you operate from a greater a sense of, what can I say, centeredness or wholeness, or you just like, you know, let's just say, you know, I like to use this example. It's kind of raunchy, but this is going to be really raunchy. I don't know if I should use it, but something that can make me uncomfortable, right? Like, I'm brown-skinned American, right? Let's just say I go into well, this happened today, actually, so I'll tell you the story. I was driving down a neighborhood that I actually grew up in, which is a kind of wealthy neighborhood, and I was looking for an address, so I stopped, and I pulled into a driveway to turn around. There was a group of women walking by, white women, all in a group, you know, early this morning, 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., and then I turned around and I went the opposite way. So I went by them. I pulled into a garage. I backed up. I went by them again, and then I stopped. And then I turned around to go back the other way because I went the wrong way again. And one of the women had stepped off almost into the road, looking at me like, what? Like, what's going on? Now, would she have looked at me like that if I was white? I don't know. Was it because I was black? I don't know. It could have been because I'm just a sketchy car driving back and forth, and there's a group of women, and she's just trying to protect her and her friends. It had nothing to do with me being black or anything like that. It could have had to do with just some sketchy guy driving around, right? I am looking sketchy, driving back and forth, and there are a group of women walking out early. And it could have been a number of things, but, you know, off the beginning, I wanted to think like, whoa, if I was white, would she have done that? Or, you know, that was really weird. You know, and I wanted to tell her, stop and tell her, hey, I grew up in this neighborhood, you know, or I could stop and say, you know, whatever to her. But that's not the point. The point is that knowing myself well enough to feel what I'm feeling and not be attached to what I'm feeling. So there was a whole bunch of thoughts attached to that experience. But since I'm connected with myself, I'm able to say, hold up, stop all these thoughts and just feel what you're feeling and see what you're feeling. And think about it from their perspective. Maybe she has black friends. Maybe it has nothing to do with the color of my skin. Maybe it just has to do with her and her town and her neighborhood where they feel safe, with her friends, and her just making sure she protects herself and her friends. And it was nothing personal. Maybe she's just that kind of person. You know, some of these chicks out here are really just like that. I may have been like that. If I live in a neighborhood where no one really comes, and especially not really black people, and then I see somebody, even if I live in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of black people and no white people, and a white guy comes and, you know, it's a bunch of, right? If the shoe was on the other foot, I may have reacted the same way. So the whole point is not, you know, to focus on the specifics of this. It's just to focus on the fact that I was able to take that, digest it, and internalize it differently rather than jumping to a conclusion that someone was profiling me. Even if they were, through their eyes, I would probably have done the same thing. Again, that comes with my experience, but basically what I'm telling you guys is know yourself, all right? Because in the Bible, it speaks a lot about knowing yourself and going into yourself, and about how, Jesus didn't like that the lawmakers and people kept the people from going into themselves. And that's what you kind of got to do in this life, so you can get better, so you can have life more abundantly, guys, so you can see God's, and appreciate God, so you can see God and appreciate God. And it's not my God, your God, he God, it's the God. It's the one that created the heaven, the sun, the earth, the moon, all of it. And and the reason why you need to know it is because you need to know that you are greater than what people say you are, or the life you were born into. You are worth more. You're worth everything, because you are a creation of God. And this life devalues things, and it puts values on things. But undoubtedly, you are as valuable as anyone else or anything else. But it's up to you to see that in yourself, because if you can't see that in your eye, then it won't never be true for you. And then someone can easily just ruin your vision of yourself or what you're doing in life. And that's my point. If you're doing something in life and someone discourages you, you're going to get discouraged unless you have a strong foundation and a sense of self, and something to, hold on to motivate you again. Or that's why I like the word of God and what Jesus Christ taught, because it helps me exist here better, guys. There's a lot going on in this world, and there's a lot of wrong ways to turn and wrong ways to go. So I just try to stay grounded and stay on the right path. And I know, knowing myself and being grounded in what I'm doing, I'm on a good path. I can live my life. And as long as, people are not coming to hunt me down and harm me and get in my way, I'm able to prosper. That's liberty and the pursuit of happiness and the right to do that. So that's what we all want. That's what I want. And this experience on eBay has been, it's been an enjoyable journey so far. And I'm learning every single day, every time I do it. And I just want to start to give back to people in the world by teaching you guys through my experience, because I don't have anything else to do. There's nothing else to do. If it matters, like last year I had my first 6-figure year. I made 6 figures. Woo! Didn't save 6 figures, so it doesn't matter. Still got my debts and my problems, whatever, but I transcend them. I don't worry about anything. I just take care of what I need to take care of, and I do things in a specific way that help me be happy and motivated and take action. So, yeah, it's been 32 minutes. I got to call my wife back. I think that was my rant for the day. I think I covered all the things I wanted to talk about in the beginning, and that leads me to where I am now, which I'm at Starbucks, and I just came out here early in the morning. I got up early in the morning to acquire some product, and I told my wife I wouldn't be acquiring any more product, because unless it was free or unless it was from one of my connections, because I don't want to have what's called a death pile. It's when you have a bunch of stuff and you don't sell it, you don't do anything with it, it just sits around your house. So people go out, they hunt, they grab stuff, they don't list it online, and before you know it, you look like a hoarder. You don't want that to happen to you on eBay. But there's a lot of other little things to talk about, and other things that I do, and things that I'm doing in this little business, and things that I'm finding out. So if you watch this video and you want to ask me any questions, or me to go over something that I spoke about, or maybe I didn't miss, or you want some information on something, just let me know, because I got a lot of insight in this, and it's real, guys. I mean, I got now 50 items. I should have way more listings than 50, but I just have 50. So I'm going to get to 100. That's my next goal, and to get to $500 in sales, because I opened up a bank account specifically for eBay. And because I opened up that bank account, there's a reward to where if I have a direct deposit of $500 or more, I'll gain $300. So a first little goal of mine is to make $500 on eBay, transfer that to my bank account so that I can receive that $300 promotion. Double whammy. Come on, guys. And also, the reason I have a bank account, a debit card, and a credit card just for eBay is because I want to keep everything in one place, all my financial stuff in one place, so that when it's time for tax season, an accountant or myself can go in and figure out what are the expenses, what are my deductions, and what are the proper taxes I need to pay. This is all advice that I got from watching. Everything that I learned is everything that I picked up from experience and learning about eBay. Let me see if I missed anything I want to know in this video. Yeah, the bank account, sourcing, building relationships, having faith in what you're doing, not relying on eBay to pay my bills so I can enjoy it and also have time to understand it and learn it and do it with a peaceful, graceful nature, because I don't sleep anymore. I maybe sleep, you know how people say you're going to have to lose sleep if you want to be successful and you can't be worrying about what everybody else doing? That's real. I'm the last one to sleep. I'm the first one up. I do, and I still have to take care of my wife, my mother-in-law, my animals, my people that are my clients, my job, people at work, my daughter who's 10. I got a baby on the way. And I still have time to go to the gym every day. I get it at 3 in the morning and I bust my butt and I do what I got to do. And there is enough time in the day if you make it, but it becomes very unbalanced. So people saying that you're going to have balance, you're going to be balanced and all that crap, it's horse shit. You're going to have to go get yours through any means. And I'm figuring out how I can go even harder and how I can have more faith and apply more faith and keep growing. But that's very real. I don't do social media. I don't have time for it. I like to play Call of Duty on video games. Last night, I took a break from working all week and I played maybe 3 games of Call of Duty. And I was like, hey man, I got to get back to work. That's it. A little bit, maybe in the 45 minutes, not even. And then I'm off and I'm right back to work. I don't play games that much. I don't like to watch TV. I don't want to watch movies. You can't pay me to watch a Netflix series. I don't have time to worry about what other people are doing, nor do I care, because the more time and attention I give to other people, that's the less time and attention I give to myself. And that is not productive for me. So if you guys are out there worrying about people or worrying about people who don't got time for you, and you're trying to chase after a girl or a boy who ain't worried about you, you are wasting your time. If you're not up late and up early, you're wasting your time. Somebody's out here kicking your butt. They're getting to it before you. And that's not important what somebody else is doing. But once you start really grinding, you start thinking about other people that are really grinding. And you're like, damn, he's out grinding me. Damn, you know what it's about. You know he's putting in that work. You know that's somebody you would like to be like. Get on your grind. Put in some work. I keep this little thing around my neck. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Kevin, for that. It's a little race with the blood of Jesus, just to remind me. Hey, I ain't even no saint. I ain't even gonna prank, but I know right from wrong. That's the way I was born, and I know we're gonna return to that natural state of form. And the day you say there isn't any peace on the earth, just be the peace you're trying to preach. We're teaching people to work. Before we stepped into church, we looked within us first, and then we made up our mind. You now listen to a moment in time, and I'm already gone because I'm dying alive, free as the sky. I'm feeling like a bird when it flies. That's something I wrote, and I messed up, but I don't care because it's facts. All right? So, yeah. You got to do you and live your life, and you got to go hard, and you got to make a way out of the way that you got, out of the life that you got. So, you know, follow those foundational principles, and you'll get there. And I want to let you guys know, guys, God is a just God. God is by law, okay? And those who want to worship God must worship him in spirit and in truth. Okay, so learn the laws, guys. You can be a good guy, but fall off a cliff if you don't understand the law of gravity. Okay, all right. God left us signs and seasons. God left us signs for seasons. God left us signs so we can understand the meaning of things, and we have to look for the signs, and we have to interpret them and discern them, guys. That's how it works. Come on, get it together. You're wasting time. Start right now. That's what you have to do. It's messy. Start right now. Anyway, this video has been way too long. I let my freaking Starbucks get cold, and this is very expensive. And peace and love, to anybody. And I hope that somebody got something out of this video. Hit me up. My name is Nage, guys. Don't ever think something about a man until you get to know him. I know people ain't gonna like me off the rip, maybe because the way I look, because of something I said, or maybe one of my views, or something that just rubs them the wrong way because of something that they've experienced, they've had in their life. And it's not personal when people don't like me. It's not personal when people try to put me in a box and try to, say, something like, oh, you're a conservative, or you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're a narcissist, you're a fascist, you're a whatever people say that people are, is because they haven't taken the time to get to understand that person's point of view or talk with that person. And that's what this world is, a bunch of people who are vibrating on these low frequencies, and it's just, it just is what it is. Once you see it, you just like, you try to rise above it. You get to the point in your life where you could be all right without people, because people just walking zombies, man, and they don't get it. And it's crazy. But anyway, 40 minutes, peace and love, yo. Hit me up, and until the next video, take care.